I'm so excited to join you today. I am with Fun and Easy Crochet, and we are going to be completing our first section of our Afghan, or our first row of our Afghan. With this last section, we are going to be working on our single double crochet section today. Some of the things you're going to need your worsted weight yarn. I use Premier every day. This is Fog Heather color. The color code is D as in David, N as in Nancy, so DN110-13. So that's the color code if you want to follow along with the color scheme with me. Next, we are going to need our hook. I've got the eye hook, the 5.5 millimeter hook, so that's the hook we're going to be using. You're going to want your scissors. The scissors are going to of course, cut your project away from the skein of yarn. And then you're going to want your tapestry needle, which is going to tie in the ends and also join our last section of this row. So that's where we're going to use that for today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go ahead and grab my yarn. We're going to make our slip stitch. So just create your slip stitch really quick. Once you have that created, put it on your hook. And then we are going to start by chaining 36 chains. So to chain, you yarn over and you pull through the loop on your hook. Again, yarn over, pull through the loop. This is just how you create your chain, yarning over and pulling through the loop. Just continue that for 36 times, and that will give us our chain of 36. And if you get lost, you can go ahead and count your chain. To count your chain, you can see that each chain is started with a V. So each stitch has a V, so this would be your first stitch. So that's 1, here's 2, there's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I have 7 stitches so far out of my 36. So 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Remember, as you're making your chain, you want to keep your tension nice and smooth. You don't want to go too tight or too loose. So 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. And yes, I do count because otherwise I lose count. So we have 6 more chains to make. 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36. Okay, now that we have our chain made, we are going to go ahead and single crochet across to the last stitch. So we're going to skip this first stitch here, or the first chain, and we're going to go into the second chain, which is right here. So we're going to go ahead and go into that second chain. When you go in, you want to make sure you have 2 loops over the top, 1 loop on the bottom. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, giving us 2 loops on our crochet hook, yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. That creates our first single crochet. We're going to do that again. Go into the hook, or into the stitch, yarn over, pull up the loop, giving us our 2 loops. We're going to yarn over and pull through those 2 loops. We're just going to do this across. We're just going to continue to go in, pulling up the loop, yarn over, and pull through the 2 loops. We're going to have, for our border this time, we're going to create 4 rows of single crochet. So we're just going to go work across this row and then do 3 more rows of it. One thing that I did discover that's really fun is a friend of mine, her sister actually, she created a new hook that counts your stitches. So it's called the counting hook. So now if you are busy talking like I am, you can have that count each of your stitches. I believe you just press like a little button each time you make a stitch, I think. I haven't used it yet, but I might get one just to try out and to figure it out. But yeah, my friend was telling me about this hook that her sister created, and it sounded really cool. So if you have a hard time keeping track of your stitches, that's something that could help you. Okay, so we're going to continue this. And if I had my counting hook, I could tell you exactly which stitch I was on, because we are going to have 35 stitches across this row and each row for all of the single crochet rows. So, and there's the hook right there, you can see. It's an awesome hook. I'm excited to get to try it. So get to see how it is to count the stitches and stuff, and maybe I'll have to get one. Right now I believe she's sold out, so I'll have to wait a little bit in order to get my first one, because everybody is wanting one. She's had I guess she put it out right around Christmas time, and she even had somebody order 10 of them for Christmas gifts. So just something fun that you can give for Christmas gifts as well, although it's not Christmas time, but you can give a gift anyways, because gifts are always fun to receive. Okay, I'm to the end of this row here. I've got 35 single crochet. We're going to go ahead and chain one and turn our work. Okay, now we're going to just do another row of single crochet. So we're going to go into the first stitch here. We're going to yarn over and pull up a loop, get our 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the 2 loops. Again, we're going to follow this back bar here into the next stitch, so it just kind of leads you over. You're going to go in, yarn over, pull up the loop, get the 2 loops, yarn over and pull through 2. So we're going to continue this single crochet following this back bar over to the next stitch so we don't skip any stitches. Or if you have the awesome counting stitcher, you can use that. And we're just going to go along here and finish this row of single crochet. So yeah, if any of you guys have used that counting stitch or crochet hook, I would love to hear about it. It just sounds like a fun hook to use. I might go over to my friend's house and borrow hers, because I know that she has one, because her sister gave her one to use to see how it worked. She was one of the first ones to get to use it. So that's always a fun thing. Okay, we're going to continue across. So it's still the National Crochet Month, and I did get onto the CGOA's website and downloaded the pattern for the neck cowl. You can see that I'm wearing it right now. So I made this cowl this week. I actually made the hat this week too to go along with it so that it matched. I thought it would be fun to have a matching hat to go along with the cowl, because it's kind of my signature to wear a hat. I love hats, always have, always will. Hats are my thing. So I've got my hat on, I've got my cowl that I made this week. I had fun making them. Really just enjoy creating new and different things. In fact, my sister came over when she saw my hat and she loved it so much. She's like, please make me one. So while she was over here, I hurried up and pulled out my hook and some yarn and created a hat for her, which she was very excited for. Okay, I'm coming across to the end of this row. Just going to finish up this last one. Then I'm going to chain one and turn my work. And then I'm going to do another row of single crochet. So the fun thing about being able to just create things with your hook, I saw this post on Facebook about this guy who who said that he's convinced that crochet and knitting is a witch's black magic, because he saw, like, my wife does that stuff. She sits there with her 2 magic wands. Of course, ours is one because ours is the crocheting. She must have been knitting. But sits there with her 2 magic wands, performing complex movements while chanting and cursing and looking at her spell book, and then blanket. Of course, for me, it'd be hat. And then hat, I'm going to change it to mine. Witchcraft, he says. So I just thought that was hilarious. So we are creating witchcraft as we follow our pattern. We've got our little witch's formula there, and then we have our project that we get to whip out and magically create and have a fun product to enjoy. Okay, so this is our third row of single crochet that I'm working on. Almost done with this row. After this row, we have one more row of single crochet. 3 more stitches, 2 more, and down to the last one. Okay, we're going to chain up and turn our work, and then we are going to do a single crochet across again, just inserting our hook, pulling up the loop, yarning over and pulling through the 2, going into the next stitch and doing the same thing. We're just going to continue to do the single crochet across. And like I said, this is our third row. You can tell this is our first row here that we did, our second row, this is our third, this is our fourth row I meant. So that's how you count the rows. So we're just going to continue across, making those single crochet. If ever you need me to slow down or to repeat something, go ahead and make a comment on the Facebook post, and I can answer those questions. I would love to answer any questions that might come up because I love to teach. Speaking of teaching, I actually corralled my son and his girlfriend this week, and we set to work learning crochet. I soon discovered that his girlfriend knew the basics of crochet. She knew how to do the chain, and she knew how to do a single crochet. So this week I worked on teaching her how to do a double crochet, and then once she got that down, she wanted to learn a new stitch. So I taught her how to do the cluster stitch. We're actually going to be working on the cluster stitch, I believe, next week, so, or on the next section. So I'm excited to be able to teach you guys that if you don't know it already. So that's going to be a lot of fun, but we enjoyed spending time together, and I did notice that she was a little bit tense, and her tension was tight, so I wanted to talk a little bit about tension. But we're coming up to the end of this row here. So we've done our 4 rows of single crochet, so that's our border. Now we're going to chain 2. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to do 3 half double crochets. So to do a half double crochet, we yarn over, we insert our hook into the first stitch. We're going to yarn over again and pull up the loop. That gives us our 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Again, we're going to yarn over, go into the next stitch. We're going to yarn over, pull up a loop, giving us our 3 loops on the hook. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 of those. Okay, we're going to do one more of those. We're going to yarn over, insert the hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, giving us our 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and pull through all 3 loops. Okay, now that we've got our 3, that's going to create our side border. And now we're going to do a front post half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over. We're going to, so here's your post right here. We're going to go in on the right side of the post, around the back, and up on the left side. See how the post is in front of your hook. So again, we're going to yarn over, go into the left side, around the back, and up. Sorry, we went into the right side. So we're going to yarn over, go into the right side, around the back, and up through the left side. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through, giving us our 3 loops. Let's do it one more time. So yarn over, go in on the right side, around the back, up to the left side, yarn over and pull through. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. That's going to give us our first front post half double crochet. Next, we are going to actually be working our pattern. So we are going to do a single crochet in the back loop of the next stitch. So we're going to insert, pull up a loop, do our single crochet, so yarn over and pull through both, and in that same stitch we're going to do 2 double crochets. So we're going to yarn over, insert our hook, yarn over, pull up a loop, that gives us our 3 loops. We're going to yarn over and pull through 2, leaving 2 loops, yarn over and pull through the last 2. We're going to do 1 more double crochet in that stitch, so yarn over, insert our hook, pull up the loop, gives us 3 loops. We're going to yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through the last 2. Now we're going to skip 2 stitches, and then go into the third stitch. So we're going to skip 1, 2, and then we're going to work into the back loop of the third stitch. So we're going to just do a single crochet. So in each stitch we're doing a single crochet and 2 double crochets. So we're going to do our single crochet and then our double crochet. Remember, we yarn over, insert our hook and pull up a loop, yarn over, pull through 2, leaving 2, yarn over, pull through last 2. Do another double crochet by yarning over and pulling up our loop, giving us our 3 loops. Yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2. And we're going to skip 2 stitches again. So 1, 2, and we're going to work in the back loop of the next stitch. So we're going to do a single crochet and then 2 double crochet. And this is just going to create a nice textured kind of look. For our pattern, we're going to skip 1, 2 stitches, go into the back loop of the third, and we're just going to create the single crochet and then 2 double crochet. Skip 2 stitches, 1, 2, work in the back loop, pull up with the loop, do our single crochet, do our 2 double crochets. So skip 2 stitches. We're just going to do this across, 1 single crochet, 2 double crochet, and then skip 2 stitches. So just a nice easy pattern, but it's going to create a stunning look. So skip 2, single crochet, 2 double crochets in the same stitch, skip 2. Remember, we're working in the back loops on this row, but only on this row, and then on the last row of our, or on the first row of our top border, we'll work the double back loops again, but until then, don't worry about it. So this will be our last time working this. So, oops. You want to make sure you don't split your yarn when you go in. You don't want to split in between here, giving it so you're only pulling up part. You want to make sure you get under that full loop. Splitting yarn will weaken your yarn. Oops. We're supposed to do a single crochet first. Splitting your yarn will weaken the yarn and make it so that it's not as strong, and your project will unweave faster because the yarn will break. So we're going to skip 2, and then we're going to do, so we skipped our 2, and in our fourth one, our fourth chain from the end, we're going to do another front post half double crochet. So we're going to insert on the right, remember. We're going to go around back and come up on the left side of it and yarn over and pull up the loop. I'll go over that one more time. We're going to insert, here's our post, and we're going to insert on the right of the post, come around back and come up through the left side, yarn over, and then pull up the loop, giving us our 3 loops. And we're doing a half double crochet, so we're just going to pull through all the loops. Okay, so then we have 3 half double crochets that we're going to do. So 1, and this is just right into the stitch. We're not working back loops. 2, 3. We're going to go ahead and chain 2. Now, because we're on the back side, we are going to do a back post half double crochet. This will keep it so that the ridges are all on the same side. So, but first we need to do our border. So we're going to do 3 regular half double crochets. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Then we're going to do a back post half double crochet. And to do the back post, you, instead of coming through the front, you want to come back behind it. You can see our post is right here. Come back behind, in front of it. So we come up the right side and out the left side. We're going to pull up a loop. So pull it through there. That gives us our 3 loops. Oops. Let's do that again. We're going to yarn over, come around back, up the right side, over the front post right here. We're going to go out the other side, which is the left side, and we're going to pull up that loop, giving us our 3 loops. Then we're going to yarn over and pull through all 3. Okay, now we're going to just start the pattern again, but we're just going to work straight into the stitches. So into the first stitch, you're going to insert, pull up a loop, and we're just doing the single crochet and 2 double crochet in that stitch. So I did the single crochet, here's our 2 double crochet. Okay, then we skip 2, so 1, 2, working into this third stitch, we're going to do a single crochet and 2 double crochets. We're going to skip 2 stitches, working into the third stitch, single crochet, 2 half double crochets. So previously I was talking about my son's girlfriend's, if I can talk here, girlfriend's tension. I noticed that her tension was really tight, and when you have a tight tension, it's harder to work multiple rows. So it's good to make sure that your tension is loose. This helps it so that it just makes your workflow easier, and yeah, it just gives it a better overall look. And so I used to think as a kid that tension was really tight tension was good, but over the years I've learned that a looser tension is better, and it's also better because it helps you to relax more and to be able to find that calmness in crochet. So here you see I'm continuing my pattern. I'm just skipping over the 2 stitches and going into the third stitch to do the single crochet and the 2 double crochet. Oops. And I'm coming here to the end, and then I'm going to skip the 2, and I'm to where I need to do the front or the back post half double crochet. So I'm going to skip 1, 2, go behind, go up to the right side of this back post here of the post, go in front of the post, and then out the left side, pull up the loop, giving us our 3 loops. Let's go over that one more time. Yarn over, go up the right side, through the back, around the front and out the back, yarn over, pull up the loop, giving us our 3 loops, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And then we're just going to finish it off by doing 3 regular half double crochets. So 1, 2, and 3. Then we're going to chain 2, and we're going to continue working this pattern, alternating the front and back post. You can see the nice ridge from the front and back post here, creating just that nice border, and then you can see the pattern here. So we're just going to go across this row and do the front post, half double crochet, and then the next row we would do the back post, just alternating the front and back post. So I'm going to work one more row with you. So we're just going to do 3 regular half double crochet here, and then work a front post half double crochet, again yarning over. You can see the post, it gets more defined as you make this ridge. You're going to go into the right side of it, up to the left, yarn over, pull up the loop, get your 3 loops, yarn over, and pull through all 3. And then we're going to start our pattern again. This first stitch right here, you're going to insert your hook and do your half double crochet, or sorry, your single crochet and your 2 double crochets. So there's your single crochet and 2 double crochet. Okay, skip 2, go into the third one, single crochet and 2 half double crochet. We're just working this same pattern across. So skip 2, go in the third one, do a single crochet, and then your 2 half double crochet. And we're just going to work this pattern across, and we're going to work it up until we get to row, let's see, row 26 will be our last row of this. So we're going to get to row 26, and once we get to row 27, we're going to do some single crochet. We're going to finish off the border and then finish off this section. So we're going to continue this, skipping 2, doing a single crochet and 2 double crochets. We're going to do a single crochet, 2 double crochets, skip 2. After I finish this one, skip 2, single crochet, and 2 half double crochets. And then we'll work this until the last 4 stitches where we'll do the front post. Oops, needed a single crochet there. Do a single crochet and then 2 half double crochets. and then we'll skip 2, and then we're going to come to our front post, half double crochet. So we're going to yarn over, go in the right side, around the back, up to the left, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, and pull through all 3. Then we're going to finish this off by doing half double crochets. Okay, so we're going to do this up to row 26. After we're done with row 26, we are going to work our border, which I have a section. So this is how it's looking right now. I'm going to pull this over. I've actually got 26 rows on this piece right now. So we are going to work the last little bit. We're just going to work the border and get the border done. So let me get this yarn set up so that I have it right. Okay, so we are going to work 3 we're doing the border. So we're going to do 3 single crochet here in each stitch. Okay, now we're going to work in the back loops on this row for the next 29 stitches, I believe. Yes, for the next 29 stitches. So we're going to work in the back loop right here. We're going to pull up a loop. And the back loop, remember the back loop is just, here's the front loop and here's the back loop. So we're going to pull up the loop, we're going to yarn over and pull through 2. We're going to pull up and pull through 2. So we're just working in the back loop across. And this is going to leave a nice little ridge for us for our complete border on the top. You can already see this ridge is being left here. And that's why you work in the back loop. It just leaves a nice ridge for you. So we're going to continue working in this back loop, just doing single crochet. One thing I do find though, doing crochet on video, I do find that my tension is tighter. You can see I have a pretty loose tension here. I'm trying to match that tension. It's hard sometimes when you start and stop a project to match the same tension, but it is important to try to always keep the same tension throughout your project. It will make it more uniform and it will just make it look more finished and polished off. So we're going to continue to work this across. And we're going to do a total of 4 rows of single crochet. So this is my first row. Okay, I'm coming to the last 4. We're going to do 1 more in the back loop, and then we're going to just work regular for the last 3. So 1, 2, 3 regular ones. We're going to chain 1 and turn our work. And then we're just going to work single crochet across again. And this time we're just working straight into the stitch. We're not working in the back loops or anything, so just work it across. Get this working. So do you guys have ways to work on your tension so that you have a nice easy flow instead of a loose stitch instead of those really tight stitches that make it hard to work in rows? I would love to hear your guys' techniques on how to relax and be able to lessen the tension that you guys have. So if you want to leave the comment in the leave a comment below the post, I would love to hear about it. Oops. Make sure you work in the stitch, not under it. So we're just going to continue this across. Working, and we're almost to the end of this row. So I know that like the story that I told you about the guy and his wife who is a witch, we finished that row. We're going to just crochet 1 and turn our work. This is our 3rd row of single crochet. I know that my husband always thinks it's magical how I can produce so much. This week I've actually crocheted a lot. I've made 4 hats and my cowl. My husband informed me that he thinks that I need to spend more time working on some homework, and because I'm in school right now, and that I should also spend some more time on my website. So I'm going to try to do that. I know that crocheting is so much fun, and it can be a bit addicting sometimes. It just helps you relax so much that you just want to continuously do it. Or at least that's how it is for me. Sorry, I had a big yawn there. So, I love to crochet so much that I could just do it all day long. It's something I really enjoy. It relaxes me. It helps me. I deal with a bit of depression, and it helps me with my depression. I'm able to see that I can make something and create something, and that just gives me a boost of self-esteem. I just really enjoy it. All right, coming to the end of this third row of single crochets, we're going to chain up one. We're going to turn our work and work our last row, which should be row 30. So we are going to go ahead and just do the last row, which is just single crochet all the way across to the end. Once we finish that, we are going to join this section with our row that we've been creating over this last little bit. So I'm super excited for that. I love seeing my projects come together. I don't know, it just gives me this thrill inside. Okay, when you tie off after this, you can leave a long enough end to be able to work to the join stitch. We're doing a back stitch for our join. So we're going to work a back stitch. So you're going to want a couple of feet. So when your yarn is split like this, you don't want to cut that. You're going to want to try to work that into your pattern. You can see that it apparently split there, or you can cut it back a little bit and just cut that right there and weave in the ends and start a new end. Right now for this, I'm just going to work this through and continue this project. But when you have problems with your yarn like that, you can cut the ends and it'll strengthen your project so that it doesn't unweave faster. So here I'm coming to the end. Okay, so I'm at the end here. You can see that I finished that up. It just looks good. Let me turn it to the right side and you can see how I have the ridge here. You can see on the border that I have this nice ridge here from the front and back posts double crochet, and then I have the nice pattern here that just gives a nice little unique look to it. Okay, so once you finish it off, my yarn's already cut off from the skein, so I'm just going to pull that through. Fortunately, I didn't keep it long enough to sew in the ends, so I will have to get a new piece of yarn that's about just over 2 feet probably. So now we're going to join this, so I'm going to pull up my previous row, and I want to make sure that the right sides are together, so I'm putting the ridge here face down on this, and then I am going to make sure that it's the side up that I want, and then I'm going to take my yarn here and I am going to put it on my crochet or on my tapestry needle. Wow, that worked really smoothly this time. So I've got it on my tapestry needle. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the back stitch. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to work into the second stitch first here and come into the second stitch, making sure that we're not splitting any yarn. We're going to pull the thread through. You don't want to pull it all the way through. If you cut it off, you want to leave 6 inches here to be able to tie in later. So, and then we're going to work back to that first stitch here. We're going to pull through here, trying not to split any yarn. So pull that through, and we're just going to work this down and join this. Okay, so we're going to skip over that second and go to the third stitch. We're going to pull through there, and then we're going to turn it and look over here, and we're just going to come back into where, see, here's our first one. We're just going to come back into the second stitch. We're going to come through here, making sure we're not splitting any yarn, and pull that through. And you might want to hold on to this end so that you don't pull that through, because that would be bad, because then you'd have to redo all of your work. So we're going to go into the 4th stitch here, work it, and we're just going to continue to work this through. Come over on this side of that stitch, don't split the yarn, and then pull through. Go into the next one. And you're going to want to make sure that as you're doing this, the color of thread that you're using, you're going to want on top, because you can see that I'm like leaving bigger stitches here versus on this side they're just little loops. So you're going to want the bigger stitches on the same color of yarn that you're using so it blends in better. So that's one of the tricks that you have with creating this back stitch with using 2 different colors. So we're going to go down here. So I'm just going over the bar of each stitch. So I'm just going over the bar. You can see that as I go through. And so we're just working our way down, going into each of the next stitches. So we're going to work up into this, stitch here. Make our nice little small loop on this side by going down into this next one and coming through on this back side. Go through here. We're going to make a loop on this side. So we're just going to work this all the way down to the very end, and then we'll weave in our end. And so that's kind of how you work this back stitch. So I hope you continue to join your round as I'm doing here. Continue working, so working in the one, so you know which one to go into by this one. So if I were to go into this one, I would just be recreating another loop over that one. So you want to keep an eye on that so you go into the correct ones. So I'm going to go into this one, and then that way I don't double over my loops, and just come out that side. So continue doing that all the way down, and then we will be, continue doing that all the way down. So let me repeat that again. I was out of frame, so I just realized that. Sorry about that. So we're going to want to make sure that we're not going to, because we came out clear over here but before we went in here, and we don't want to redouble that loop. So we're going to actually come back to this one so we're not doubling over that loop right there. So we're going to pull that through and then bring this back in. So we're going to continue that all the way down to the end. That's just going to create a nice stitch. You can see here it's practically not noticeable how it blends. It's nice. On this side you do have a little bit of a ridge, which looks nice. It gives it a little bit of pizzazz, and yeah, that's how you do your join. So keep working that all the way down, and then when you're done you can just weave in those ends and you'll have your first row finished. So I'm excited for you to finish this first row, and I hope that you continue to enjoy doing this, and remember to just create little loops on that one side. So thank you for joining me today, and I hope you have a fun time.